Hi, I'm Jim Benson, creator of Personal Kanban, and we have just a few minutes here to talk about what a personal Kanban is and how to use one. So I think that if you're watching this video, you're probably looking for a way to control your work, to get a handle on all of the demands on your time. And the fact is that everybody watching this video does have a lot of demands on their time. Expectations from their family and their friends, from their bosses and colleagues and co-workers, and even from ourselves, things that we would just like to get done. And all of these things become this big kind of congealed mass in our minds that we have to pull apart every time we decide something that we would like to do. So we have to reach into our minds and we have to say, okay, who is this for? When is it due? What am I going to have to do to get it done? Who do I want to work with on it? You know, all those kinds of things. And what scientists have found is the prioritization is the most mentally taxing things that people do. And part of that is because it is all jumbled up in our heads. We can't see it, and we have to think really hard about each thing and do this analysis, and that's not fun. So what we'd like to do is say, you know what, I don't want to do that. I would like to actually see what I need to do. So I'm going to write down all of my tasks, all of the expectations that I have onto these post-it notes, and I'm going to put them into my personal Kanban. And this would be our first column in the personal Kanban, which is our options column, right? These are things that we could do, right, if we wanted to. Okay. So now we have taken that big, horrible mass of work and we've turned it into a very cognitively pleasing rectangle. We've taken a bunch of distress and turned it into cognitive ease. And that's really important because now, rather than going through all of that pain and suffering about how to actually prioritize our work, now we can say, oh, you know what? I see this relates to this and this relates to that. I like doing this. I hate doing that. This is due right away. This is for somebody I love. This is for somebody I don't love. And we can start to actually think about what we want to do and why. So we've started down the first path of the first rule of personal Kanban, which is to visualize our work. So visualize work is rule number one of personal Kanban. Now luckily, unlike almost everything else in life, there's only two rules for personal Kanban. The first is to visualize our work, and the second is to limit our work in process or progress. What this means is you can only do as much work as you can handle. You can't overload yourself. Once you do, your ability to finish and your ability to focus starts to break down. So we have our second column here, which is our doing column. And our doing column for most people, if we had you write them down right now, would look something like this. You'd say, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing this. Oh, and I'm working on that. And I'm working on this. 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 I'm working on this, and I started that one, and yeah, okay, fine. I've got too much stuff to do. And what's happening now is not only have we made a really messy column, but this also makes a really messy life, okay? We're constantly thinking, let alone the expectations that we have. Now we're always thinking, what do I have to do next in the things that I'm already doing? Who is it for? How far along is it? What decisions did I make to get there? What happens if I don't finish it? What value is there? Are there deadlines, etc.? All these things that now we have to think about the work that we're actually doing, and we're still thinking about the work that we haven't started yet. That's way too much of our capacity, of our mental energy that's spent just managing stuff, right? So let's not play that game. Let's say instead of that, let's pull all of these tickets back and we're going to limit our work in process explicitly. We're going to say, all right, I'm only going to do 3 things at a time. And by golly, I'm going to finish something. So then you finish something and now you have real capacity to focus. So you you finish, you focus, you finish, you focus, you finish, and you focus. And what's happening now is you're giving yourself the luxury of actually being able to think about your work. You're giving yourself the luxury of actually being able to complete something with quality, which basically means that you like your work when it's done, right? Think about all the things that you've done where you've been rushed, you've been harried, you've had to get it out right away, and you're like, I could have done a better job on that. That doesn't feel good. And that doesn't prepare you for doing future work because you're already disappointed in past work. So what we want to do is be able to focus on the work that we're doing, be able to finish it, and get things done with quality. This year marks the 5-year anniversary of the Personal Kanban book. Tony and I are very excited and proud of that. And to celebrate, we're launching an online class, an online Personal Kanban class. You can find that class at modusinstitute.com. Please do come, join us. There's a lot of new information covered in the class that's not in the book. We look forward to seeing you there.